All right, guys. Thank you for joining me. Welcome to the podcast. It's great to chat with you guys. We've been trying to make this happen for a long time, but you guys are out adventuring like all the time. So this wasn't easy to
live
do.
some exciting lives out here.
It sounds like it. It sounds like it. What have you guys been up to most recently?
Well, we spent some time in Breck,
Okay.
doing some backcountry skiing and some downhilling, and yeah.
I feel like we've done something since then, though. So it went Breck, Florida. Did we do something else?
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, that was the last one.
It's
Cross-country
tough to keep
skiing.
track.
You guys are all over the place. I see on your Instagram,
Yeah.
there's skiing, there's pack rafting. You guys are in the water. You guys are hiking. You guys are everywhere. So I'm jealous.
I'm sure you do some things too.
Oh, I do. Yeah, I do plenty of adventuring, but you guys are out there all over the place all the time. So
It's definitely a passion.
yeah. Well, it's a shared passion for sure. And I'm sure most of our listeners are into the same stuff. So this is awesome, you guys. If you wouldn't mind, could you give us an intro? Tell us who you are.
Reid and Kyla.
Mhm.
We are the faces behind Gemini Adventures. Gemini Adventures. So I've been putting on Gemini Adventures races since 2003, and Kyla came on 7 years ago, something like that, or so.
Okay.
We put on mostly long distance, but it's all backcountry trail stuff, mountain biking and running, and we do some backcountry tours and things like that.
Awesome. So that's a long time, like 17 years. Like that's a while.
Things have changed. Yeah. It's very different. The whole sport and everything around it has changed a lot since I started it.
Reid is an ultra running pioneer, man. When I hear about the Wild West of they're just throwing people into the backcountry to sink or swim, those were crazy adventures.
Oh man, awesome. Well, I want to get into all of it. I want to hear it all. So I've been doing ultras for a good decade, 10 or 11 years, but I'm from Wisconsin originally. So I ran all the ultras there, and then eventually had to make my way out to the mountains and start doing the big ones. So
yeah.
Winter people.
This is the area to do it.
Yeah. Where are you guys from?
I'm from Cleveland.
Okay.
I'm from Philadelphia,
Oh, okay.
but I've been in Colorado a long time. Once
Really?
I hit this place, I never wanted to leave.
Yeah, same here. I just fell in love with this place. Yeah. I came here once on a random trip with someone and we ended up climbing a 14er. I didn't even know what a 14er was at the time. I went home and I couldn't get it out of my head. I'm like, I got to get back there. That was too sick. Yeah. How did you guys meet?
Actually I just hired, I was looking for somebody to hire.
Okay.
And she answered the call and
the bill.
Yeah.
Nice.
Worked out very well.
He needed someone to organize his office. Reid is an on-course genius. The adventures he puts together are insane. The way he keeps his office, also insane.
Yes, I need some help there.
So I get to handle logistics and some of the office stuff, and it's a good team.
Right on. Cool. I like it. Reid, I read that you were originally, well, I don't know if it was originally, but you were into wrestling and MMA fighting at one point, and I was too, man. So,
yeah, nice.
Yeah, man, I want to hear a little bit about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I still do it.
Really?
I take my break every afternoon and do some wrestling, jiu-jitsu, MMA.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Where do you train at? I'm curious.
So it's a Easton Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yep, I've been there. Okay, cool.
I've been there. I was one of his first students.
No kidding.
20 years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Actually, he came to town and wanted to learn the wrestling.
Yeah.
And I was coaching at the time, so he just came into town and we met up. And he's a big adventurer too.
Okay.
He was just in Breck with us,
and
I do some river trips with him, and it's a lot of fun. So I've been there for 20 years.
Wow.
Wrestled in college and international after that, and got a few MMA fights in.
Nice. So you're probably legit jiu-jitsu black belt at this point then, if you've been around that long.
I've been a black belt for a while. Yeah.
Nice, nice.
He
That's
wrestled at Ohio State, and he's a black belt. And he's
yeah,
fought in the cage. He's done it all.
that's badass. Come on, I love it.
So you have a wrestling background then?
Well, no, not wrestling. I have a karate and taekwondo background. I did all
nice.
that stuff while growing up, and then eventually found jujitsu and completely fell in love with it. And all the karate and taekwondo went in the background, and
Yeah.
I got completely obsessed with jujitsu. And yeah, found my way into the cage for a couple amateur fights back in the
Nice.
day. And I mean, I still dabble around with a little jujitsu, not like I'd like to, not as much as I'd like to, but yeah, it's still a passion for sure. I'm still into
Great.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
It really is. It really is. Well, I didn't know that. That's quite an accomplishment. Just getting a black belt in BJJ. That's nothing to sneeze at.
Well, it's kind of like my ultra running. You just get started and you keep going.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Cool. Kyla, what are some of your other hobbies?
I'm not a black belt. I don't like to call myself this, but it's true. I am the ultimate sidekick. I'll say yes to anything.
Really?
If it's outdoors and it's a little scary, I'm in.
Yeah. And you've
Yeah.
both
She's
done.
a top-notch dabbler.
Yeah.
Okay.
Dabbles in everything.
Okay.
So he got started in ultra running or jiu-jitsu, and he'll go all the way.
Yeah.
I'll just jump in, do some, and then jump into something else.
There's nothing wrong with that. I like it. I'm kind of right in between both of those camps. Like, I've been doing ultra running and jujitsu for a long time, but I'll do some dabbling in there as well. So
There's it's fun to be had.
yeah, for sure.
She really has taught me that there's a beauty in dabbling and just going out and having fun with things.
Totally. That's
Yeah.
what it's all about. You got to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
So almost 20 years in this business. What have you seen? Good, bad, ugly? How have things changed? I mean, I just
It's been
like
a revolution.
just a decade ago when I started this thing, it was totally different. Like, people would show up on the weekends and everybody's drinking beer, and then they go out and run a bunch in the woods and come back and drink more beer and just sit around the fire. And it was like just a social craziness. And, now it's become sort of corporate in certain aspects. And I'm just curious what kind of changes you've seen over the years.
I came in at the party point.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Nice.
you were before that, it was very serious.
Yeah, it was a lot of people with deep-seated issues, that were out there on the trail.
That's
working
why
out
I'm in
those
this
issues.
thing.
Yeah, right. Well, and that's what I always said about
20 years ago, they weren't having fun.
right. That's what I always said about MMA. I had enough issues to make me want to fight, but I wasn't abused enough to make me good.
Yeah. That sounds about like me too. Okay. This is gonna be great, man. This is gonna be a good relationship. I love it already.
It started
But yeah,
serious.
yeah, no, I think it used to be a little bit more. It used to be more serious. You'd go to these races, and they were very backwoods. Very out there, and if the aid station had what they said it was going to have, then that was a good race. If they didn't, well, that's the way it goes. And you show up at a race and you get just one of those plain white T-shirts with the logo farm on the back, and the 20 different sponsors who gave a few bucks to the event, and now a lot of this is due to Kyla bringing this in. Now we have stylish shirts that people want to wear around town, and it's just a very different vibe. But I think there's a great aspect to it. So one of the things that we do, I think, differently than most people is we make it a festival.
And we do not make it corporate.
No.
Cool.
We like cool little adventure towns where everything is authentic. It is, it's got to feel like our community. I mean, I'm really adamant about that.
Yeah.
And and there's a nice meal at the end, and there's
And I want our community to come together. I think that's where the beauty of those beer races, that was the great thing about them, is that it was an identity, and you wanted to hang out with the people who were doing that with you. It's not a corporate thing where you come in, get your medal, and leave.
Totally.
It should be a weekend. It should be your people. It should be the town where you're staying. It should be all part of it. Yeah. That's the fun of it.
Yeah, that's it right there. That's the good stuff.
After you
I mean,
crush yourself.
yeah, I mean, the best races I've done were always little. They were always small, out in the middle of nowhere, you know, just like 20 to 50 people. And then you walk away with like 8 new best friends that, you know, now 10 years later, they're still some of my best friends. So yeah, you run some of the bigger races and, you know, you talk to people, but it's just a different vibe, you know?
Right.
Like for a while I was dabbling in triathlon and Ironman, and I'd go do these races and not even talk to anybody, like nobody.
Those races your friends come from your training. I've heard triathlon. Reid is also an Ironman.
Okay.
I did one.
Yeah. No. God, Reid, you've done everything, man.
He's done everything.
I love
Pain and
it.
suffering. That's the common bond with everything I do.
Yes. Makes us stronger, tells us who we are.
Right, exactly.
I love it. Yes. So, I mean, how did your races start 17, 20 years ago? I mean, was it just really small grassroots, like 4 people showing up and going out and getting after it, or how did it start?
Well, yeah, I kind of lucked into it. So I heard about the Marathon des Sables, you know, but that was way back in the early days of the Marathon des Sables. You know, 6-day race through the Moroccan desert, and I thought, man, I would love to do that, but it just didn't seem like I couldn't afford it. You know, I couldn't fly there, couldn't do other things. But I thought, I'm going to put on one of those events here in the U.S., make it affordable, you know, bring people in, and so I started looking into that. Just started, you know, there was no internet, you know, just started calling people, started calling the BLM and looking at maps. And while I was working on that, another kind of local race was canceled for the year, just some logistics. I thought, okay, I'll put on a 25 and a 50-mile race. And, you know, I had already been in touch with the BLM and really just a couple friends helped me put it on. And the first year we were at the hotel the night before and working late because we had no idea how long everything was going to take. And we found that we couldn't get the spigots on the outside of the hotel to fill up all these gallon jugs for water. And we had 150 people our first year.
Wow.
So me and a friend stayed up all night filling these big gots of water in the bathtub in our hotel room and carrying them outside on the elevator outside, loading up the truck.
Awesome.
Till 3 a.m, had to get up at 5 a.m. to start the event. Yeah, so that was there was a learning curve.
That was your introduction to the world of race directing, huh?
Right.
Awesome. Wow. Well, 150 people at your first year, that's pretty legit.
Yeah, again, and I looked into it because the other event was canceled.
Yeah.
But that's still our biggest race. You know, the trails are just amazing.
Yeah.
It's the trail running festival in Fruta. And yeah, the trails are just so amazing.
It's a gorgeous course.
Yeah.
Nothing there you'd want to mess with.
Yeah. So people kept coming back.
That's cool.
They didn't know what happened behind the scenes.
Yeah, right. They're just thankful they had water that day.
Right.
Bathtub.
Don't ask where the water came from. You got water, guys. Were you a ultra runner or adventure athlete first?
So my first event was actually the Eco Challenge.
Oh, okay.
Back in the day.
Back in the day.
96, I think it was.
Okay.
I did the Eco Challenge.
Yep.
And up until that point, I was a climber. You know, I was into climbing and doing a lot of alpine climbing, and read about it actually in a triathlon magazine.
Okay.
And thought, man, I got to do this.
Yeah.
And and just kept my eye out for it. Actually, I think it was the Reid that I had read about, and just kept looking for it. And, again, without the internet,
Yep.
things kind of had to fall into your lap back then.
Totally. Yeah. And then things just snowballed for you. It sounds like things just progressed.
Yeah, I did the Eco Challenge, and then decided to do a 50K. I had never even done a marathon, or I don't even know if I had done a half marathon at that point.
Nice.
Decided to do a 50K.
Might as well dive right in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pain and suffering.
Yeah. No kidding. And at this point, you've done a bunch of races: Hard Rock, Leadville, the Leadville mountain bike. You've done a bunch of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. And you're still going.
Yeah. I'm not doing as much running.
Yeah.
It's kind of what I feel like at the time now.
Yeah, for
The
sure.
mountain biking and rafting river thing.
Yeah.
And then we're going to put those together and start bike pack rafting.
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
You're gonna put them
got some
together.
things. Yeah, we've got some things that we're looking at for this year.
Even when
Oh,
he's not making new races, he's making new crazy adventures.
adventures. Cool. Cool. That's awesome. Kyla, are you into all the same stuff? Mountain biking, rafting, everything too?
Yeah. I love any kind of mountain thing. I'm doing a lot of snowboarding now, and I just did my first splitboard trip, which was a blast.
Nice.
So now he's started cross country, and we've been doing more uphill, and
Okay.
we feed off of each other.
It sounds like it. Yeah. It's a good energy. I love it.
Yeah.
And Kyla, you've done a
Inspired from
bunch of
Instagram.
Yeah.
yeah, isn't that funny? Like you can use Instagram for positive or negative, and I'm just like looking
People
at it.
always
and-
say.
Yeah, it's like I'm just trying to use it for the positive. Like if I can look at it and get inspired somehow and meet cool people like yourselves, I mean, that's positive to me.
It is. It really is. We're constantly sending each other things like, look at this. And I'm
Yeah.
not jealous. I'm inspired.
Totally. That's what it's all about. Yeah. And Kyla, you've done a bunch of ultra marathons, it looks like too, huh?
I've done a bit. I was into the running for a while, and the mountain running is the way to go. A year ago, I did my first ever road marathon. I had never run on the road before, and it's a different kind of challenge and not as fun.
Totally. I know. Now that the trails have been sloppy over the last couple of weeks, I've been running roads. And I'm like,
Yeah.
God, this beats my body up. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
way worse than running trails.
It's like a job.
You got to force yourself to get out and.
But not one of the good jobs like we have.
Yeah. Did you grow up running?
I did. I grew up a lot outdoors.
Okay.
I went to CU because
Yeah.
the mountains were calling,
Yep.
and just I could spend 100% of my time outside.
Mm.
I really, anything mountains, anything water, anything sun and stars.
Yeah.
I just love it. And once you become a mountain runner and you do things in the mountains, I think that's where you want to be. I
Mhm.
like hills. I like challenges. I like to push it.
Yeah.
I like a little danger.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah, for me, it just like opened things up, once you figure out you can climb a couple 14ers and you throw some running into the mix, it's like things seem less dangerous because if a storm
Right.
comes in or something, I can run out of here, like,
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
it's not going to take me 8 hours to hike out of
We
here.
would run.
Yeah, totally.
You see all those other people above tree line with you, and you're like, no, we're in a different position here.
I know.
We're not in the same boat.
Yeah. And I've had to do
I
that a
love-
couple times.
Yeah, for sure.
I love the mountains too, and the kind of adventures we do. Just always gaining more competency
Yeah.
is so much fun,
Yeah.
as you're progressing through these levels of being able to do harder things and making better decisions, like with the backcountry skiing, learning more and more and more. You just never get bored. There's always another level
Totally.
to
Yeah.
master.
Has it been a pretty
And
good
yet-
year for skiing?
Off and on.
Yeah.
It started out a little rough,
Yeah.
but we're having fun now. I was in Steamboat last weekend. There was a ton
Okay.
of powder. And you
Okay.
just have to be really competent, though. It's an
Yeah.
avalanche season, and it's
Totally.
scary.
Yeah. 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 I heard there's been a lot of people that have passed away this year in avalanches. and-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
I think
scary.
Reid and I do crazy stuff, but we don't take high risks,
Good.
I
Yeah.
believe.
Smart.
Right. It's all relative. I think everybody thinks they're taking reasonable risks, and I've been running into that with the whitewater. You know, I did a trip in October
Okay.
where I took a nice little swim in some class 4 rapids, and, you know,
Yeah.
sucks you under and then spits you out, and you're like, okay, that was, you know, wasn't bad.
Nature wins, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So how and why did you guys come to putting your races over on the western slope in eastern Utah? Why did you choose that area?
The trails,
Yeah.
you know, the trails are just so amazing there. I think we both love the desert.
Yeah, the
Okay.
desert is a magical place to
Mhm.
run.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, it started out, actually, that's where I did my first ultra.
Okay.
Maybe that's why it started that way. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, the second you get out there and the Fruita and Moab area, it's just, yeah.
And then the towns became so cool. Hanging out in Moab has been cool from way back, but fruit is catching up quick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
I
is.
like the people. I like the place. I like the feel of it.
Mhm.
And then with the trails too, it's where you want to be.
Yeah. You guys both live in Boulder though, right? Yeah. Why haven't you moved closer over that way? I'm curious. Sounds like all your work is over there.
Yeah. There's this thing called life.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, for sure.
We have a bunch of kids.
Yep.
And Boulder is such an amazing place too.
Oh, it is.
So
Yeah.
having that to escape to and this to live in,
Yeah.
we are lucky.
It's like the best of both worlds.
Yeah. There's
that
so
makes
many
sense.
places you can access from Boulder.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we could talk about how much we love the desert, but we love the mountains too.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
not a bad place to be.
And
Oh,
neither of
totally.
us minds driving to an adventure, man.
Yeah.
I've gone to Zion for an overnight before. If it's there, I'll go. You're the
Nice.
same.
Yeah.
Do you guys plan on expanding from where your races are at all?
We are.
We are.
Okay.
We actually have a new event this year.
Oh.
Our first one in New Mexico.
Oh,
We
no
found
kidding.
another cool town.
Oh, sweet.
And yeah, and that's really what we base it on. We base it on the town, you know, the area.
Uh-huh.
We're not looking at the corporate side. We're not looking, I mean, it's got to have some decent trails, but it's all about the vibe. You know?
Yeah.
He used to get mad at me when I said vibe.
Right.
Well, I know it's kind of an
We found this
overused
really
word.
Cool town.
Yeah, it's definitely overused, but yeah, the feel of it, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, we went and checked it out, and the people there were so cool. And just the
New
surrounding.
Mexico's cool, man. No I-70. It took us 4.5 hours. We just
Oh.
drove straight south until we hit New Mexico and these cool little towns.
Yeah.
And they're available, you know, Fruita and Moab. They're getting a bit nuts.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
so where you go next?
Yeah.
What else can we do? And
Is
we
there-
found Red River.
Okay. Is there a lot of races down there? Or are you guys kind of
No.
starting
We
a new
are
thing?
busting in.
Really?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Arizona's got some good races, but New
Yep.
Mexico is pretty untapped.
Okay.
I mean, there's certainly some stuff down there, you know, but it's not like Moab is just, you know, every weekend they've got something,
Yep.
you know. So we just got into New Mexico. We're also in Eagle,
Okay.
which is one of those cool little adventure
Mhm.
towns.
Yep.
Got
Totally.
amazing trails up there,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and then a couple races in Fruita. And yeah, we don't want to expand too quickly,
Yeah, for sure.
you know.
Yeah.
We're kind of finding our what we do best,
Yeah.
and like I said, since Kyla's been here, it's kind of the after party is you know.
Really?
Oh, you put on great races.
Yeah, but that, you know,
But I like it to be a festival. I want the whole weekend. I want I want these towns to everyone to just get everything out of it that they can, and
Yeah.
not just have it be a race, but an experience,
Yeah,
an adventure.
for sure.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a good working relationship with each of these towns that you're going into?
Oh yeah. I mean, I care about them so much. I try
Yeah.
to move to everyone.
right. Every time we go to one of these places, it's like, okay, now she is Fruita Kyla
Yeah.
or
Really?
Eagle Kyla or
Well,
Red River
it's not
Kyla.
us, it's them. I mean, the leaders of these small adventure towns and the locals,
Mhm.
they are so invested and they have such a great energy, and we're so
Mhm.
lucky to get to, you know, be part of their family. I mean, these small towns are families,
Mhm.
sometimes literally.
Right, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
they let us be a part of it, and we respect them
Yeah.
a million percent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. What is your percentage rate for like repeat customers and clients that are coming back to your races? Is it pretty big, or is it?
They're our family too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in the past couple of years, we've been trying to expand our base.
Mhm.
But we really exist on our base.
Okay.
You know, I don't know what the number is
But
at this point.
I feel like I always know everyone I see.
Right, right.
Really?
Yeah. You know, they
Yeah.
come back year after year. I mean, there's people. So I know there's a handful of people that have been doing the trail running festival since it began in 2003.
Wow. Okay.
I don't think there's anybody that has done every single one of them,
Mhm.
but you know, they've missed like two of the races over the years.
Yeah.
So
And then the
Yeah.
crazy stage race, those
Mhm.
guys come back over and over. I
Really?
mean, we call them family, and it's true, I think, with that one.
Wow.
yeah,
Wow. Well, you must be doing something right then if people keep coming back.
For a couple crazy people.
right, right. Well, yeah, and it's that we love doing them. We love being out there and being part of it. And you know, this year at the Trail Running Festival, we'll have about 700 people, between
Wow.
600 and 700 people. You know,
Over the weekend.
Wow.
yeah. But it's still, you know, again, we're not going corporate. We're not,
Yeah.
you know, we're not running them through the machine.
Sure.
You know, I look at most of the names when they register and at least, you know, recognize the faces year after year after year
Mm.
and continue to make this better for them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and they email us personally and say, this is my first half marathon. I'm so excited, my trail race, or this is my first 50K. How do I crew? How do I pack? You know, and we want to answer them.
And that's so much of our time. We use so much of our time personalizing all the emails.
Yeah.
I mean, we love it, but you know, when you have 700 people, it's like, okay, let's go through this, and you know, but that's the enjoyable part of our
It's
job.
their adventure. Yeah. And that's the great thing we can do for the world. It's a small thing, but it's what I'm doing, you know, making people stronger and happier.
100%. Yeah. Cool. I like it. How did COVID affect you guys?
Oh, it's great.
In comes
Really
the
bad, Adam. Really, really bad.
You know what? There too, I think part of it is the group, the people that we work with, and again, you know, I've done a lot of sports, or you know, really been into things, and when I started working with these people back in 2003, I'm like, this is where I want to be because of the people, you know, not just the events, but the people, and really we made it through because of the people, being understanding. You know, we had to come up with our policies and all the things that okay, this, you know, we're canceling it and we ask you to do this and that, and you know, we can't give everything back because these are the things that were bought, and you know, it was just a crazy time.
We work with all small businesses, so we were just swimming in this sea of small businesses that were desperately trying not to go under, and then all of the participants who are out what they purchased, and it was rough.
Right. So you know, we said, all right, you know, we'll keep a small portion of it and we'll defer it to the following year, you know, the greater portion for the next year's race. And people were understanding.
You were understanding. It was tough too. It was an identity crisis, you know, when your whole industry disappears in a day. It's like, shoot, I better learn how to drive a crane or something. This isn't happening anymore.
Yeah.
It was scary.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're making we're coming out of it okay.
Yep.
And we're
And
happy.
people are so excited to get back out there.
Yeah, everybody is, totally.
Yeah.
Were you guys able to have any of your races last year?
We had one in September.
Okay.
I kept saying we threaded the needle.
Yeah.
You know, things really opened up during the summer and then shut down in the fall. And we were early fall. And the town of Eagle worked with us. We put a lot of policies into place, protocol into place, and they worked with us to make it a safe event. So it wasn't just that they let us go for it.
Yeah.
They worked with us to make it a safe event. And the people from the town especially came out to the race and got out on the trails and spread out, and you know,
It was a little funky, and I was worried that we wouldn't be able to offer them what we offer. But it felt great. They had a blast.
we decided not to do virtual races,
Right.
Okay.
because that's not what we do,
Yeah,
you know.
for
Yeah,
sure.
it's just tough when you're all about community to do that virtually.
Yeah. And you know, some race directors are about, well, you know, it's about the motivation and it's about getting people out on the trails, or you know, whatever they want from their races. What we want is we want the community, and we want them to get out and be in the mountains or be in the desert, and we couldn't do that virtually. So
Yeah.
we decided we're not going to put any virtual races on.
Totally. So that race that you did have, were you able to have like a little festival? Were you able to celebrate at the end, or was it just like staggered start times and everyone wearing masks at aid stations, or what did it look like?
It was happy.
It was yeah. I think that's the best way to say it. It was happy. It wasn't the big. We didn't have the big party at the end.
Yep.
But we had pizza and people, you know, good music and people out celebrating. And again, it was the town. The town. They brought in some live music and DJs and you know all kinds of stuff. And you know, people just didn't crowd around everything. They passed through and were happy to be out there. And you know, it was a really good feeling without the closeness of it.
Yeah.
When you've
everybody.
been starving, a little bit goes a long way too.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Everybody was so desperate to get outside and find some sort of social aspect and some sort of normalcy in what everybody loves to do. So it's like, if all these races are canceled and we have to follow rules at this one, we'll go to this one and follow rules.
Yep. Perspective is such a huge part of life, right?
Yeah, I keep saying that we can't complain about them shutting things down and putting rules in so that we could have it open. Right? You can't complain about both of those things. So if they could set up rules for us and to do it safely, you know what? I'm not going to complain about that. You know, maybe if it's, you know, shutting things down in kind of a random way, you know, that's what I complain about.
Yeah.
If they could give us some rules to follow to make it happen, great.
Yeah.
You know, we have outdoor events and there's ways to do it.
Okay. Yeah. Did this change business plans at all for this year?
No, what do you think? It's so weird how you can, you know, just keep doing these 180s. I think this summer, the main thing we're going to be allowed to do is outdoor events.
Yeah.
So now we can kind of get back to business.
So far, this year's looking pretty good.
Yeah, it is. You know, and keeping in mind too that we're also pulling back from how tight it was last fall, right? So it's way easier to open up from where we were in the fall, even though it's still restricted. It's still more open than where we were.
For sure. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good year. I mean, it sounds like there's still going to be a couple races that may be canceled, and some of that's due to snow and avalanche and stuff like that in Colorado. But for the most part, most of the races are going to be ramping back up, and everybody's.
Did you sign up for anything?
I'm doing the Sangre 200 in September.
Nice.
Yeah, so that's my first 200. So that should be a torture fest.
Nice.
Yeah. And, you know, a bunch of training races between now and then.
I got training races for you if you need them.
Yeah. I'm sure I'll be jumping into a few of them, the ones that we're not helping at. So
Yeah.
How
Well,
about
yeah, we appreciate you guys coming out, doing our hike and aid station.
Oh,
You and
dude.
Brian Vicente.
Yeah, we can't wait, man. We
You guys
can't
are
wait.
crazy and fun.
He speaks really, really highly of you guys, and I'm glad he introduced all of us. And this is going to be a blast. We absolutely can't wait. So no, it's going to be cool.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Really fun.
How about you guys? Are you guys signed up for anything this year?
We are doing all our own adventures this year. With
Yeah.
these races, it's too hard to plan things around, and we have some plans
Yeah.
of our
Yeah.
own. They're
Mostly
written out
just-
on napkins.
Yeah. So like personal adventure stuff rather than organized races.
Yeah, but we're adding a race in this with adding the race in this year. We have to go check out the trails and the course and
Mhm.
all kinds of stuff. Spend some time slaving away in Red River,
Yeah.
Red River, New Mexico.
Yeah.
Um,
Sometimes when you put on events on the weekends when you're not doing that, you want to be far deep in the backcountry alone.
Totally.
It's a balance.
Yeah. No, I get it for sure. So you guys are up to 7 races now. Is that right?
We should know this.
right,
We're
right.
looking at the board where our events are.
five
1, 2,
five
3.
races.
Okay.
Right, and some are over weekends with mountain biking and trail running, so you might count those as a couple.
Right.
Okay.
And we did have one last year was the inaugural race year for a local 5K, 10K. And it was early season, so we're putting that off one more year.
St. Patrick's Day race. It's
Yeah.
our first ever theme 5K. We're doing something new.
Right. So and it was canceled the day before last year.
Yes.
That sucks.
Everything shut down.
St.
Okay.
Patrick's Day. It was
Yeah.
in Lyons. Reid's brother lives in Lyons, and they want to start doing events again since the floods.
Okay.
So we just wanted to do something fun for them.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was canceled last year, and I think it's a little too soon this year. Too early in the year. Things aren't quite open up yet.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to put that off for one more year. So,
Okay.
but other than that, yeah, we have five events.
5 weekends
Right.
Yeah.
or weeks.
Can you run down the list for anybody that's listening and curious? Can you tell us about the
Sure.
races? Yeah.
Sure. We have our long running trail running festival in Fruita,
Yeah.
Desert Rats Trail Running Festival.
Yes.
And that's in April. That's actually sold out right now, but we're taking a waiting list, and we'll let people in as we see what's going on with COVID restrictions.
Okay.
We have our Adventure Fest, which it just kind of changed names
And locations.
and locations in Fruita.
It's an 18 road. Do you know the area?
I've been through there, but I don't know it super well.
It's new trails for us and a lot of people. It's pretty cool.
It's
Okay.
great. It's great trails. Yeah. It's
Yeah.
been there a long time, but they keep adding to it and building things.
Cliffs and free camping. It used to be like the Wild West out there, but they're
Yeah.
starting to make it a little more civilized.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's bathrooms now.
So that's a half marathon and a 50K mountain bike race.
Nice.
We have our stage race, which goes 6 days from Fruita to Moab. And that is,
Along the entire Kokopelli Trail.
Yeah.
It's a
Wow.
through thing. Yeah, really cool.
and that's a true sufferfest, but amazing, amazing beauty. And that's really where we get to know people so well.
That one is a deep experience.
Yeah.
People are living lifetimes in that short amount of
Did we
time.
mention it's the desert in June?
It was nice and hot.
Yeah.
What did you say? Running in the desert when it isn't hot?
Oh, yeah. Running in the desert when it isn't, like if we did it another season, it would be like running in the desert when it's not hot, would be like climbing Everest if it wasn't so high.
Right. Or like running around Everest or something.
Right.
The good stuff is right there.
Right. The experience is to be in the desert, in the
It's
heat.
hot.
Yeah.
Cool.
We have Mountain Rats and Eagle in September.
Hmm.
And then the new,
That's a weekend of running and mountain biking.
running and mountain biking.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a half marathon, 50K for the running, and then 50K mountain bike.
That's a tough one.
And then our new Enchanted Forest trail races in Red River.
That's at
Okay.
the end
New
of
Mexico.
July.
Okay.
in July 31st. And this year, we're just looking to put on a half marathon and a marathon. And next year, hoping to have a good mountain bike race.
Nice.
Yeah.
With the mountain biking, is that difficult to plan in terms of like getting permits and the logistics, or is it real similar to planning a running race, an ultra running race?
It's similar.
You
Okay.
plan a lot more medical.
Right.
Really?
Right.
Okay.
Well, so I held off doing mountain bike races for years. The injuries tend to be more catastrophic
Sure. Yeah.
than running. You have a lot of scraped knees.
running.
Yeah, you have scraped knees and stuff in running. But the mountain bike, we had a broken femur one year.
And then they're helicoptered out. And it's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
but now they'll let anyone do it. Just put in for a permit.
yeah, it's not quite that easy, but the people are different. There's a lot of crossover, and they share a lot of aspects. But the one thing that we found, runners, if you have a let's say an 8:00 start for runners, they show up at 6:00. They're warming up, they're stretching, they're hanging out.
They have questions.
They have questions, right? If you have an 8:00 start for mountain bike, they show up at 7:45 and they want to roll up to the start.
There'll be like a straggler after the start coming in hot. It's got to catch up. People.
Different personalities.
Yeah, I can see that. The mountain bikers are more like the surfer personality, like, let's just go out and have fun. And the runners are a little bit more.
They're intense. They're intense about different things.
For sure.
Yeah. And I've really found lately that the runners are all about the scenery of the course. They want, if you tell them this, amazing scenery in this course, you get runners. The mountain bikers are about the flow, about the actual trail. If you tell them, these 18 road trails have amazing flow. These Eagle trails have amazing flow, and they're great trails. Like, they don't care so much about they're not looking around.
Sure.
And seeing the beautiful scenery.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting to see the differences in them.
We just started really putting in more mountain biking, and it's been fun to try to compare.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See.
What about insurance for the two different sports? Is that a big deal? Getting insurance for the mountain biking?
I don't know if it's because events are more prevalent, but getting mountain bike insurance used to be tough and expensive.
I would think
almost prohibitive, it was a lot. And now it's pretty much the same as running. I do not know why that is.
Okay. Okay. Wow. Take it. That's all right.
It works.
Right.
Little quirks of event planning.
Yeah. Wow. Well, that's cool. And just what's next for you guys? I want to hear about some adventures. I want to hear about some plans. I want to hear everything.
Tell them about the big one. Tell them about the bike pack raft. You can't steal it.
Well, I won't share details.
Okay.
But
tell them the gist.
The gist is to it's
like a multi-sport.
Yeah. So to ride our bikes and get on the Colorado River.
Okay.
In pack rafts, float down. I think it's about 6 miles.
Okay.
And take out. And so this is all in theory, right?
Sure. Yeah.
That's what makes it an adventure.
Yeah.
I've looked at it on Google Earth, and it looks like. So I was out there recently and saw that there's an old road.
So are we running, or is it more biking?
No, it would just be.
Okay.
It would. Hopefully, it's not pushing the bikes at that point.
Right.
I think there's going to be some pushing. So I camped out there recently and saw, there's this old road.
Yeah.
That it's got to go somewhere. So I got on Google Earth and saw, in some fashion it goes back to town.
Okay.
So I think it would be about a 3-day.
Oh wow.
3-day adventure.
Nice. So this would be like a loop course, or is it a point to point?
It's a loop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, wow. And actually, it kind of ends on the Colorado Monument Road, which is beautiful. Takes you up right on the edge of the cliffs and everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool.
Wow.
I was worried about how he was worried, how he's worried about the boats and how to get the bikes on there. And I was saying, who cares? You just strap it on. What could happen? And he said, go lose a really expensive bike at the bottom of a river.
That's true.
I guess there are some things to consider. We have a lot to learn.
How do you do that?
I know.
Well, so some pack rafts are made to handle that kind of load.
Okay.
As always, buy better stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the ones I have are kind of pool toys.
I think we can make it
pool toys.
happen.
So yeah, well, we're still in the planning stages of this.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, so we have some adventures, some family. We always have family river trips. Where we get like 10 different families together and just float down for a week, and that's always fun.
Nice. Yeah. So
Oh,
some
no.
relaxing and some adventuring both. You guys kind of have it all. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's so great for the kids.
Yeah.
My kids are graduating this year, so I have to have
Oh.
at least one big river trip before they go.
Totally. Yeah. Are they going to school?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yep.
So you got to see them off proper.
Right.
That's cool.
Yeah. And then other than that, it's going to be a busy year with the races.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
a busy year.
Yeah. But busy in a good way. That's a good
Oh
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Versus last year where we weren't busy.
Yeah.
This is way better.
Yeah. Yeah. What was last year like? I mean, were you like panicking on the inside, or were you like, it's a year to do our own personal adventures?
One of each.
Yeah.
I was having an existential crisis. He was mountain biking.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, of course, there's concerns about businesses and all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
But when there's nothing to do, the first couple months, I spent a lot of time on the trampoline with my kids.
That's a good way to shake it out.
Yeah.
Trampolines driven. He was going to trampoline every day.
Really?
Yeah, I got a lot of trampolining in.
Like, say trampolining again, Reid.
That's your exercise nowadays, trampolining.
No.
Right. It was when everything was really shut down. Get out on trails some and get out on the trampoline.
Yeah.
I had 3 rules. There were 3 rules in the house. Every day you had to get some exercise. You had to have some social interaction, and you had to get outdoors.
Perfect.
Right? And so when the kids were everybody else was on their devices, and they can't get together with their friends. Well, at least even text them, text your friends.
Yeah.
And every day you had to get outside of the house. So every day I would check with the kids and say, all right, have you gotten outside today? Have you exercised today? Have you had any interaction today?
I know you're seniors in high school, but it's time to trampoline.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So it sounds like you guys have a lot of fun with this. Like it's a passion, what is your why? Like, why is this your passion?
I start with
He's not
that.
touchy-feely. He can't say.
We don't want to make the big, strong man with the manly beard start crying.
Right.
I care about the kids.
No, it's really it's changed my life, the outdoors and pushing myself, and and I think that a lot of people have trouble putting themselves out there. Me, I'll throw myself into all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
Put myself on the sharp end of climbing rope, and things like that when I don't even know how to climb. But I think a lot of people are apprehensive about getting started, and I think that that if we put those things, if we could introduce people to those things and introduce it in a way that they meet other people who do those kinds of things, then it allows them to get out of their comfort zone, out of their bubble. And I know Kyla, along these lines, I don't want to speak for her, but you know, we're people get in that safety zone, you know, where they're comfortable.
Yeah.
And I know Kyla is big on that too, that, you know, you can't live your life just, you know, feeling comfortable. You have to feel uncomfortable.
You have to have stories to tell, and you have to have things that are pushing you to be more you.
Yeah.
And Reid is a coach. He also coaches.
Okay.
And I just think it's your personality. You know, he wants people to thrive and be better and do their best. And he truly, I can see, enjoys giving them these adventures and making it as hard as it can be, and then getting them to the finish. You know, he likes both of those things. And it's cool.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you?
Here.
Perfect.
Sometimes I'm too much that part. No, I'm the same.
Yeah.
I like to get people out of their comfort zone. It annoys me when people don't do that because you get one life and it's happening fast, and let's get out there and enjoy it together and make it better.
Yeah.
I think she enjoys the breadth of experiences. Again, being the professional dabbler that she is, you know, she wants people to experience a lot of different things.
Just come try it. We'll get you through it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just say
Yeah.
yes.
Just say yes. Yes. I like it. Yeah, I mean, that's what it's all about, you know, inspiring people and helping people with their own adventures. I mean, same here. That's why we started this company, Do Big Things.
Right.
We want people to get out and do big things. It's like, and you know, big things look different for everybody. Maybe it's your first
Right.
5K, maybe it's your first ultramarathon, maybe you're joining a martial arts gym. It's like, whatever your big things are, like we want to help people out. And one of the highest compliments that I've received from people is, you inspired me. Like that just turns me on. I'm like, I just love that. I'm like, really? Like, how can I do more of this?
Support them too, you know, supporting people when they're doing amazing things is so cool. I love what you guys do.
Totally.
And sometimes people need hand holding, and sometimes they need a kick in the ass.
You're right. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a fine line there, and you got to kind of feel people out, and you can't ask them that question. Do you need a kick in the ass, or do you want me to hold your hand? You got to figure it out and give them what they need. So
yeah.
It's a skilled job, no doubt. It's neat.
Yeah. One of my favorite things is just like getting someone up their first mountain, or someone comes to Boulder and they've never been up Green Mountain. And I love just being the guy that gets to take them up there, or getting people across the finish line. Like, you know, I just want them to be like on their deathbed, and then they think back, there's that crazy guy that helped me do that crazy thing.
Right.
I just want to be that crazy guy.
Those true experiences where people become your family, and you say happy birthday to them every year because you guys went through something together.
Yeah. I mean, it builds just such a bond, you know, and yeah, so many of my best, closest friends have come out of this sport, and, you know, we've been out on the trail just bleeding together all night long, and
yeah.
you just get to know each other so well. So
We do.
Reid, I'm curious, like, what was your like childhood like, or background like? Did you have a pretty good upbringing?
Why are you like this?
I mean, I know a lot of people in the martial arts world, and some people had really good backgrounds and some people had really bad backgrounds, you know?
Yeah. Well, like I said, you know, I certainly wasn't abused enough to make me that good at fighting, you know. I wasn't abused at all. I had 3 brothers.
Okay.
So 4 boys growing up in the house in Cleveland, and I was a middle child.
Okay.
And had to fight for every cookie in the house, and you know, we were all wrestlers.
Okay.
And I just really took to that work part of it, you know, the physical side of it. I think I think whether it's upbringing or you know, nature or nurture, I have a high need for stimulation. You know, so just reading about sitting down and reading how you should rock climb or starting climbing in a gym was not for me. you know, I look back at how I learned to rock climb, and I'm like, I'm kind of lucky to be alive. You know?
You
But
started weightlifting at like 10.
Hey, with
yeah,
two brothers and
Get
a lot of
doctor's note.
rumbling in the household, you gotta hold your own. You gotta start lifting
That's
weights
right.
at 10 years old.
Right. But you know, I just enjoy that side of it. You know, it's certainly not as much as I used to. You know, I got the gray beard now, and it certainly does not need to be as intense as it used to be for me.
Yeah.
But yeah,
You're close with your family and your brothers,
Yeah.
and they're outdoorsy.
yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Yeah.
They are. None of them have fought in the cage. That's an intense experience, you know.
Totally. Yeah.
You know, I'd line up on the line for a 100-miler, and be like, all right, nobody is waiting behind the bushes to kick me in the head.
Oh, totally. Me too. That's
Right.
it's like, I don't care how long or how hard this race is. There's like no nerves because
Right.
I've never been as nervous as walking into a cage to fight in
Right.
front of my family and friends in just a pair of shorts, you know?
Right. Right.
I'll do that for perspective.
Yeah. Where did you fight? Locally here or?
No, most of my training took place in Wisconsin back in the day, and most of my fighting was in the Wisconsin, Illinois area.
Okay.
So, were you a pro fighter?
No.
Okay,
Nope.
amateurs. Yeah.
Four amateur fights, and I you know, I was. It started way after my heyday. So my last fight was when I was 46.
Ah, nice.
Yeah. So that was all I could get in.
Were you fighting a younger guy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Were there any other guys that age?
Right.
Yeah, right. You can't find any other 46-year-olds willing to jump in the cage.
Right. I had an amateur title fight, and he was 22 years old.
Okay.
You know.
Ask him who won.
Oh, I already know who won. This guy wrestled his whole life. I'm not messing with him.
Made a career of it.
Yeah. Oh man. In jiu-jitsu, that was the guys that I always struggled the hardest with, is the guys who've been wrestling their whole life. They just have that. They just, no matter how old they are, they have that old man strength. I just couldn't get around, you know. So
that's me.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. What was your fighting weight?
145 feather.
Got down to 4. What do you weigh now? You look huge.
Now I'm like 160, 155, 160,
okay.
something like that.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay. That's, I fought at 145 and 50. I think I did a catch weight of 50 once, but
Okay.
yeah. So same here. You just look way bigger than me.
Yeah, right.
The beard.
It's the weightlifting since I was 10 years old.
There you go. Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Well, cool guys. This has been a fun conversation. No, I'm just looking forward to the summer. The summer's going to be great. We're looking forward to coming to your races. And I just like that, you know, you guys are in it for the festivity. You're in it for the party. You're in it for the adventure, the experience, to give people an experience. That's everything we're all about. So this is going to be, it's going to be a fun year.
We're so excited to have you guys out there too. It's going to be great.
A great year.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, like I said, Brian Pacenti couldn't speak any more highly of you guys and your races. And he's like, oh yeah, these are the guys we want to work with. These guys are legit. They've been around forever. He's like, these guys are awesome.
That's a high compliment from that guy. He's solid.
Yeah.
Yeah. No kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's done 200, or he did Moab 240 last year. And yeah, he's done some big races. So.
Yeah. He won our stage race.
Yeah.
Oh, did he? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's why that was why he told me to ask you guys that question.
Okay. Right.
I'm glad we got in there.
Got it. Okay.
No, and he handled it like a champ too. It was, you know, just gets so hot out there, and you see even the people who win it, a lot of times they just melt, you know. Yeah. And he was solid the whole time, you know, kept a good solid pace. And I think a lot of the fast runners get caught up in pace. Yeah. You know, and he was out there. I'd have to imagine he was going by feel. That's who tends to do well out there. Is the people who who say, all right, I have to slow down here. I could speed up here,
Yeah.
you know, not caught up in what their pace is. And he was just solid.
He's a superstar. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that how your ultra running is? Are you just pretty much focused on feel, or are you out there just running and
100%.
gunning? Yeah.
I am slow.
Really?
I'm 53 years old with asthma, and I'm 5'3", so I don't have that long stride. 5'3", 165 pounds. I am not an ultra runner, but I go out there and I'm slow enough that I manage well.
Yeah.
Right? I know I need to eat now. I know I need to cover up from the sun. I know, so that, yeah, it's all about feel.
That's a huge advantage. Just, you got to take care of yourself in the moment. Like you said,
Yeah.
now's the time to put on sunscreen. Maybe I have to
Right.
wear a hat right now because the sun's beating down this way, and just all
Yep.
those little things add up over the course of an ultra marathon.
Yeah. And we see that especially in our stage race.
It's true.
Yeah. Yeah. What are some of you guys' favorite races that you've done?
Ooh. You know what was great? What's that NAR race that you did?
Oh, Never Summer.
Never Summer,
Ah,
that 100K.
I've never done that one. I hear so many people talking about it.
Oh, it's a great
Really
race.
great.
Really?
race.
Okay.
Just the drive down there is fantastic, but then the location's cool. The trails are amazing. They do a great job of putting it on. I
Mm,
love that race.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
They run you up the side of a mountain that I don't even remember what mile it was, but yeah, deep into the race, they just no trail, just straight up the side of the mountain.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
That's a good way to start
Well,
it.
I made it 87 of Hard Rock, 87 miles of Hard Rock.
Okay. Okay.
Before I missed a cutoff, and that is just I mean, there's a reason it's as popular as it is.
Yeah.
It's just an impressive location,
Mhm.
impressive trails.
Yep. Beautiful
As
course.
hell.
Yeah.
Aesthetic. Yeah. No, I mean, that's everybody's dream race, mine included.
Yeah.
How about you, Kyla?
Always said I was going to do Hard Rock, and then I realized that I'm not going to do Hard Rock.
It only takes like
You
a
have
decade to
want
get in.
that, man.
Right now it's harder than ever to get in. Yeah.
Yeah. But the soft rock. I would love to get out there and do it over a couple of days and just see
Yeah.
the entire course.
Yeah.
I would love to support out there, volunteer.
Yeah.
I'll be involved in some way in Hard Rock.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We've done some volunteering out there, and just volunteering and watching those guys suffer is impressive. So yeah, the race is definitely a dream, but I just love being out there and just soaking up the energy and being a part of the environment. It's so cool.
Yeah. It's a different feel than other hundreds I've been to, You get such veterans out there and going into that second night,
Yeah.
that's it's a different world.
That's serious.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think I read somewhere, Reid, that you did the Leadville mountain bike race and finished with not much time left before the cutoff.
So again, I'm not built for this sort of thing.
That's all right. You're still doing it.
Mentally.
You're still doing it.
The first year I attempted the bike. So to me, the bike is harder than the run.
Mm.
With asthma, it's a higher output.
Mm.
And it's not as long, but it's a higher output, which is more difficult for me. First year I tried it, I finished 7 minutes after the cutoff.
Oh.
Second time I tried it, I finished 3 minutes after the cutoff.
Oh.
And the third year I finished a minute 40 before the cutoff.
Whoa. That's persistence, man. I would have given up after that first one.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Well,
Oh, that must have been fun. You must have felt so good.
But that had to have crushed you coming in just a few minutes after the cutoff, man.
Minutes.
I mean,
if it was
you
my
did it.
race, I would just give it to you.
Yeah, right. I mean,
we have this bad cop, good cop thing going here. But,
I see that. Yeah. So yeah. What happens if a runner comes into you guys' races 5 minutes after the cutoff? Do you guys just award them anyways, or?
No,
it's
the integrity of the race. We can't.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, we keep to the integrity of the race.
Mhm.
They get an official time, an unofficial time
Okay.
coming in after.
Okay.
Right. And again, you could see from my perspective, that third attempt at the Leadville bike, when I finished a minute and a half before the cutoff, was extremely special to me. Because it mattered.
Yeah.
Because those other attempts, 3 minutes and 7 minutes, that's what made that minute and a half that much better. And if we have a gray area, I think it takes away a little bit of that edge.
Totally.
Yeah. And you get all the kudos. We still cheer you in, and you still get bananas at the finish line, and go to the after party.
Yeah.
But you don't get that finisher's award.
Yeah.
So you have to come back next time. And
when it was the 3 minutes, was there any part of you that thought you should get it anyway?
No way.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, I remember being at Leadville 100, the run, a couple times, and it's noon. They announce, okay, no more runners. It's not going to count anymore. And then you drive down the road and you see like 20, 30 people hiking it in, and they look so dejected and so sad. And it's like, you guys still did it all. Yeah, you guys did it. Hopefully come back next year and get that buckle.
Right. But there's no better finish line than the Leadville 100 at that cutoff. When you see those people coming in, trying to beat that time, and you're like, there's no way that person's going to make it. Yeah. And then you realize, they might make it.
Yeah.
And I have never been to anything more exciting than that, where so many people chase that cutoff.
His dream is to have a finish line like Leadville. He talks about it all the time. Yeah. He loves that finish line.
Yeah. Well, I've just sat there and watched people finish, and I'm not a super emotional person, but I'll sit there and get welled up with tears just watching these guys digging so deep. Yeah. Yes. No, I love just sitting at that finish, and especially watching people coming in right around noon. Those last few finishers. One year I was the very last person to get the 25-hour buckle.
Oh, nice.
Really? That's amazing.
Oh, I had to dig so deep, and I'm just like running into town. I'm like, what time is it? I see somebody. I'm like, how much time do I have?
That's a good story.
That was rough.
And that's what makes it worthwhile. That cutoff, that thing that you're chasing.
Yep.
That's what makes it worthwhile.
Yeah. And of course, puking the whole way. I'm
right.
Like, oh man, I got to do this.
Yeah. It is. My first year finishing the run at Leadville, I was with my pacer, and we were trying to figure out the time and everything. And my asthma, I couldn't even run. 3 steps was more than I could run. And she said, you might have to run, to make the cutoff. And I said, well, if I'm going to finish, something else is going to happen, because that's not going to happen. That's not an option for me to run. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But so I finished, just power hiked it, and, finished it. So.
Were you puking?
I wasn't puking.
Nice. Good. Yeah. I've got a history with stomach problems. I'm still trying to nail that one down.
The worst.
I know. It really is. Yeah. Well, it's like, I would choose puking over going number 2 out on the trail, like nonstop.
That's true.
It slows you down even more.
But I say that, well, I'm willing to throw up and keep going. I'm willing to vomit and just work through it. Then I get a little nauseous, and I say, maybe not. The nausea, just
Oh, it's terrible. I've seen that take people out of a lot.
Yeah. Oh yeah, big time. My first year at Leadville, they lost one of my drop bags at one of the at Twin Lakes aid station, which you go through twice, obviously.
Right.
It had all the stuff in it that I needed, right? Like shoes, compression, nutrition, a jacket. It had all my key stuff. And for whatever reason, I don't know if that drop bag just fell off a truck somewhere, but I got to mile 40 and they're like, we can't find your bag. And so I'm back there helping them dig through bags in the middle of the race.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not here. So what are we going to do now? Like, this is what I signed up for. I signed up for a tough day. It just got tougher. Yeah. So then as I'm coming back through, I was at like mile 60 and my pacer said, you know, your shoes are just like coming off your feet. You're pronating really bad. Like this is probably going to really mess you up. And you should probably borrow some shoes from somebody. So in the middle of the night, you know, 60 miles, we're like, hey, does anybody have any size 11 shoes I can borrow? And this guy he's like, I have some Adidas from Target. And I'm like, perfect, I'll take those. And
Nice.
Of course, those shoes gave me the worst blisters of all time. And then I made it to like mile 90 and I'm walking along with my pacer. My feet feel so horrible. And I'm like, Marty, I got to pull over and get these rocks out of my shoes. And I take my shoes off and they weren't rocks. They were blisters on the bottom of my feet. It felt like rocks.
Blisters and stomach. Those are the worst.
They're
Yeah.
the worst. So yeah, I just had to like walk back into town on the sides of my feet, like ouch, 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 ouch.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
but that's the stuff that makes us stronger, you know? I mean, now I got to.
Those are the stories.
Yeah. I tell that
A lot
story
of
to
other
everybody.
things become not a big deal after that happens.
Oh, totally. Totally. Yeah. That's why we do this stuff. So
Yeah.
Well, listen, guys, this was fun. I had a blast.
Yeah.
It
Love
was
talking to you
great. You're
guys.
good at this. That was fun.
Thanks. Yeah, it was fun. And yeah, just looking forward to this summer. We're gonna have some fun. I can see it already. It's gonna be a blast.
Oh,
gonna be
it's
great.
happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And please just let us know ahead of time if you guys need anything in particular. Otherwise, we're just gonna come out with good attitudes and cheering people on and we're just gonna do our thing. But if you guys need anything special from us, please just give us a shout, let us know, and we got your backs, whatever we can do.
Appreciate it. Thanks. Yeah.
Absolutely.
No doubt. We're
Yeah.
lucky to have you out there.
Oh, it's going to be fun. I can't wait. This is going to be a fun year. Cool, guys. Your website, what's website everyone can look at?
GeminiAdventures.com.
Okay, perfect. That's easy to remember.
Yep.
And you guys are on all the socials, easy to find
Yep.
online. Cool.
Yeah, Facebook, I'm Gemini Reid. But we have the business Gemini Adventures, and Instagram is Gemini Adventures too.
Okay. And is just the one race filled up at this point, or do you have a couple races that are full for the year?
Just the one.
Okay.
Just the one.
So
We're
still
getting
in.
people coming into the others, but
Yeah.
that's the only one that's full right now.
Everything's on Ultra Sign Up?
Yep.
Cool. All right. Well, you guys just keep on doing what you're doing. You have great attitudes and, yeah, it's like every race has its own vibe, right? And some of them are sort of commercial. Some of them are a little gossipy, you know? And I've, for whatever reason, and I almost feel bad about this. I've never been to you guys' races, and I'm coming out this year and I'm already looking forward to it. Yeah. I'm like, I'm just looking at you guys' races and I'm like, this is just a great feel already. And I haven't even been out there yet. So
Nice. Yeah.
no, I can't
Oh,
wait.
Adam, thank you.
Yeah. Hey, thank you guys. I appreciate you guys taking the time to do this. And yeah, it's going to be a good year.
Okay.
So you guys just
Great.
keep on doing what you're doing. And thanks for the inspiration and keep inspiring and helping people. I love it.
All right. We'll see you in April.
All
Yeah.
right. Yeah. Sounds
Bye.
good. All right. We'll see you guys. Thanks.
Bye.
Take
Bye.
care.